Yo, can you guys hear me? Yo, 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 yo. Hold on, let me alert the Discord quick that I'm live. 1 second. Okay. All right. Let's see what's going on here. My goodness. Wow. Okay, guys, that's crazy. So, again, apologies for the late stream. I want to see if anything happened at 5:30. That was good enough. Jeez. Every time I miss these. Javier, what's up? Good morning, bro. Every time I miss these live, the 8:30 sessions, it ends up being decent. You can see here that we swept the low that formed after 8:30. So this is the candle at 8:30. We swept it. We had a nice inverse to the upside. Then we had a nice inverse to the downside. Then we had a nice inverse to the upside. Crazy. And then the 9:30 move was huge. Big push above a fair value gap. And now we are filling the new week opening gap that I was telling you guys about the other night. Remember I told you on stream yesterday that in the Asia London session, and also on the daily review, I pointed out, if you guys go to my Discord under the daily market recap section, after market close yesterday when we were here, I said we were very likely to get a setup up to the new week opening gap and probably higher. And you can see now we've fully filled it. These two green lines that you guys see here are perfect equal highs. So I think there's a possibility that we go here today. I don't know if we're going to have a real buy day. Another gem, if you guys didn't know this, Fridays are most likely to be trend days. So of every day of the week, it's most likely that Friday is going to be a day that trends in one direction or the other. Does that mean this Friday is going to be? No, obviously, but just keep that in mind. Let me look at the weekly candle. Yeah, no, don't see anything that I would be suspect about. But yeah, so we filled the new week opening gap, and now I would not be surprised to see us go higher to this buy side that you guys saw on the hourly chart right here, and then the equal highs and potentially this hourly fair value gap. That seems to be the most obvious draw. Now, the only issue is that we just filled this gap. This is a very important new week opening gap. So, could there be like stalling from here? Absolutely. So I'm going to be kind of cautious about taking longs today, but we still will take something if it's A plus, obviously. We've had a great week. It's Friday, so am I going to rush into anything? Absolutely not. But still possible. And again, these are very strong draws in liquidity, so I'd love to see us get to this. Javier, did anybody, again guys, I wasn't on stream this morning, but did anyone take this IFEG or this IFEG down here after sweeping sell side? We never swept the London, this intraday London low, which is interesting, but still. Wow. Put way too much maple syrup in my coffee. Damn. All right. So, I mean, what could we expect here? I mean, I'd love to see a retracement of 50%. Okay, first of all, I'm going to get rid of these new week opening gaps because they're kind of bothering me. But you guys know that we're in one and we fully filled it. Let me just make sure it's fully filled. Yeah, we fully filled it. This tick filled it. I would love to see a retracement of 50% and then maybe get a long from there. So like if we can sweep this low and then get an upside setup to target the equal highs, to target the buy side, that would be awesome. Very interesting that we gapped up in the QQQ markets. No discipline on Q. No, my discipline. I was about to slap you through the screen, Javier. No, my discipline, not no discipline. No, I just want to NQ, no trades between 825 through 945. Okay, nice. Let me check the economic calendar again one more time to see if we have any setups or any other news. 9:45 PMI. So there isn't anything like super significant. I mean, PMI is decent, but it's not something crazy. There is a 30-second IFEG forming right here. So if we get that to the upside, I would not be surprised to see that work. However, there's not really any balancing of any liquidity or any 50% levels. So you guys can try this 1 minute. Do I think this is A plus? Hell no, not even close. This is not a close to an A plus fair value gap. But will it work today? Possibly. Wow, Tesla's pushing today, guys. Look at this. I posted this yesterday on X saying, is this going to be a breakout for Tesla? Looks like a potential breakout now, but we have to see what goes on with this. This could be fake. I don't use these retail signals. I'm just saying that it's there. Okay, guys, if you really want to try a 1 minute long, if this 1 minute closes above, you're welcome to do so. But, whoops. But is it A plus? No, not at all. What do you guys think? Should we try it with 1 NQ? Nope. Buying at premium. Exactly. Why would I do that? I had a great week, guys. You have to learn, first of all, to be content. Second of all, it's a Friday, okay? Why am I going to waste my 1 or 2 max trades of the day on this? This can so easily fail and sweep to the downside. It's just not worth it to me. Okay, so A, learn to be content. B, wait for an A plus setup. And C, that's the only thing. Those are the only 2 things I would say. Okay, so again, guys, it's probably going to hit this buy side. Okay, and there's the buy side, and then there are equal highs here. So if this ends up going to the equal highs without getting any retracements, I mean, so be it, right? I'm not going to complain. But there was a really nice setup here this morning. If you guys were in the market before market open, but it was so tough to catch this because look, you inverse to the upside, and if you wanted to hold it all the way to the equal highs, you would have faced some serious drawdown here, and it probably would have stopped you out. It actually wouldn't have, because we didn't come down to, actually it would have, because your entry was right here. But you should have taken a partial at this high, and then potentially a partial, I don't know if there's anything to the left of the chart. No, I wouldn't have taken another partial. I would have just held the rest. So, okay, so there is a sweep, a big wick that's forming here. Again, guys, if we can get that retracement to 50% now, which is right here now, so I'm moving the 50% up, right? Because now, instead of this being the high, this is now the high. So the 50% comes down lower than that. So there is a cool looking short here. I actually like this one, but we do have equal highs above. So will I be taking this? No. What I would prefer is to see a sweep down, possibly take this low out, and then get the long setup later. So do you guys see how even if a setup looks really good to me, I'm not just going to take this short because it's a short setup, because my bias is bullish. So I'm not going to take this short, and I'm going to wait for a retracement and then go higher. I took the Trump short yesterday. You took this short right here? This one? There's no short though. I mean, there was a tiny set of fair value gaps right here, but I mean, that's not A plus to me. We also didn't sweep any obvious liquidity. We didn't even trade into this 1 minute fair value gap. That wasn't a good trade in my opinion, Javier. Again, guys, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. So this did not close below, guys, so there's no entry for this trade anyways, but do not be surprised if you see this candle come down and sweep this wick low. Ugh, why is this glitching again? Oh, never mind, it's good. Oh, Jose, what's up, bro? Good morning. Jose says he can see a target of 22,050. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to post some stuff here. Gonna post this so people can see my socials, guys. Also, I need some more followers on Instagram. I started Instagram a while ago, but it's definitely the most lagging of the social medias. So I posted both there for you guys to see. But Jose from the Sunday Wick, January 26th. Good morning, bro. Yeah, Sunday Wick. Let's see. The Wick from Sunday. Sunday? Hold on 1 second. What's he saying? 22050. Whoa. Isn't that like all-time highs? 22050. The wick from Friday, you mean? Possibly. But we need to inverse this hourly fair value gap first, guys. This is going to be the PD rate, and there's one right here, by the way, guys, that we're trading into right now, or that we did just trade into. So these are the two PD arrays that are holding down price right now. So until these close above, we're probably not going to get anything A+ to the upside. But you never know. Man, I wish there was something more A+ that's forming right now, but unfortunately right now there isn't. Ugh, and it's just crazy, guys, because every time I come on to the live streams for the 5:30 setups, and rarely anything good happens, or it's lackluster. Today we had some really good setups for him. Okay. Guys, has anyone taken a trade today? Who's taking a trade? Jose took two. Which trades did you take, Jose? Again, guys, the reason I'm asking questions now to you guys is because there are no setups here. No setups at all. One NQ and one MNQ. First trade to the 21880 once we closed above the 800 from 21880. What was there? Don't see any PD arrays or anything at 21880. And then one from 21880 to 21920. Okay, that I understand. But I don't see any setup there either. But I don't know, Jose, maybe you're not trading with with inverse gaps. Maybe you tried with an order block. I don't know. Oh boy. Dog is barking again. Wow, Nike with a big push over the last few days. Tesla breaking out. What else is performing, guys, while we're waiting for something to happen in the market? Tesla, Rivian, Apple, Google, Shopify's up. Oh, my end phase position is up finally. 1% on the day. Let's go. Oatly. Yeah, nothing too crazy that I see. How are the rest of the Mag 7? Tesla's performing best. LLYs. Everything's green, so that's good to see. Oh my goodness. Hold on, guys. Man. Okay. So maybe this is it, guys. First trade was to fill gap from Sunday. Oh, okay. Oh, right. I took the new week opening gaps off. The gap was at 21,908 though. But anyways. So maybe this is going to be the drawdown that comes to take us to 50%. Yeah, I don't see, like, what I like to look for too sometimes, guys, is if we have a big push up, I want to look at this leg of price to see if there's any fair value gaps that form. And right now on the 5-minute, there's nothing. I don't really look at the 4-minute too much. The 3-minute, there's nothing. But if this ends up closing below, I would expect to see downside. Again, would I take this short? No. Because we have equal highs above. So my main priority now, guys, is to look for a setup to get us up to these equal highs. That's it. So far we wicked perfectly from the 3-minute fair value gap. So maybe this delivers us higher. I don't know. It's a very tough spot to trade though from, guys. Again, I'd love to see a retracement of 50%. At least tag this order block and then get some kind of an A+ IFEG. But until then, guys, there's nothing, right? I'm also looking at Top Step. So I have the 30-second chart open here. So we'll see what happens with this one. I'll let you guys know if I see anything A+ on the 30-second. And also later in the stream, guys, I'm going to go over a call out I made yesterday in the Discord. It was a losing trade. It was the first live call out that I've made that was a losing trade in probably like 7 or 10 call outs. But I want to show you guys how I managed it. I was able to cut it for a super small loss. And I'll explain to you guys again why the IFEG model is so good. And it's because you can cut so easily. And yeah, I really want to show you guys, because I mean, winning trades are great to learn from, but losing trades are even better to learn from. And if you guys join a Discord thinking that you're not going to lose, I have news for you. Unless your Furu has solved Enigma, you're going to take losing trades. But how you learn from those are going to be the most important thing for your psychology and for your overall experience in profitability. Should I turn on the light bar here? All right, now we're blue. So I'm looking to see if we form any perfect equal highs anywhere. Obviously, we have not yet. Let me just look and see if there's any random highs that formed here. No. I've noticed a lot less people join streams on Fridays. Like of all the day trading streams that I do here, Fridays are the least people show up. Okay, while we're chopping around here, I'm going to take a look at end phase and see how that's performing on the day. Wow, big push here. So I have the 65 puts on end phase. So I really want to get a position in this company because I think that we're bottoming out or close to the bottom. Again, I could be totally wrong, but I think this is a great spot to add. This looks like a classic consolidation, manipulation, distribution. So I want to see this end up pushing us all the way back up to these buy sides. We have an unfilled fair value gap here in the 150 to 174 range. So I want to see this get filled. You guys see how I use my strategies for every single, it works for stocks too, okay? There's a bunch of unfilled orders here in this candle. So I'd love to see this perform, and I want to just get a really good entry on this. My trade will stop out on this if we end up getting a close back below 58 or 59 on the monthly chart. Okay, so again, guys, nothing is forming on NQ here. We're just consolidating after a distribution leg. So I'd love to see, like, for example, this low get swept and then get some kind of a push higher from there. We still have not filled this hourly fair value gap, right? We have an hourly gap. That's the high that never got filled. We swept buy side, but we still have buy side above, so nothing that I like just yet. Excuse me. Yo, guys, so has anybody had a great week since watching the live stream and decided that they're not going to click any buttons today? Curious to see that. Anybody who's in this stream right now who's had a great first 4 days of the week, had some A+ setups that they took, and they're profitable for the week, and they decided that today they're just going to sit back and watch and tape read. Anybody in that situation? Or are you all planning to click a button today? Man, guys, I wish there was more to say right now, but this is not where you want to be trading, right? I always teach you guys, when you have a distribution leg, be super cautious about where you trade. And look what happens here. We inverse a 1 minute fair value gap, then we end up closing back down below it to the downside. So this signifies to me, so when you get an inverse fair value gap, first of all, this is tiny, so I would never take it anyways. It did work. You can see stop to break even when this high hits, and you could have taken your profits at the buy side. But we closed above, and now we're closing back below. So this to me signifies chop. You'll save yourself a lot of money, guys, if you do not trade in this type of environment. So now we just wait, right? I'd love to see this sell side get swept before a move higher. And I'd love to get a trade into 50% of the leg. This is discount. Anything below this is discount. This is where the best long setups will form. Now on the day, are we going to have that? I don't know. Possibly not. This could be a breakaway and we could just go. But again, guys, just because I see that, I'm not going to get emotional and click buttons for no reason. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so again, we're coming up probably to sweep this high, probably to fill the hourly. Maybe we get a short after the hourly gets filled. I don't know. But it's super hard to take shorts here, guys, because we have first of all, we have an hourly fair value gap above, and we have 2 sets of equal highs. So I really don't want to be taking shorts randomly here. So we do have a fair value gap that just formed here on the 1 minute. Okay, so if we end up closing below this, I think this will drive us down. Maybe we can try a short scalp with 1 NQ. Let's say we sweep this buy side and fill the hourly gap, and then we get a big down close candle below this 1 minute. Technically, you'd want to wait for both of these, by the way. So maybe when we close below both the 1 minutes, we can take a short down to the sell side. 1 NQ is a scalp, and that's it. And only if this high gets swept and we fill the hourly completely and immediately reject. Evan Lucas, why does Javier not trade NQ between 825 and 945? Just a personal choice for him. He knows that the market opens at 930. Did he say 825 or 925? Yeah, I don't know why 825. But I personally don't trade between 930 and 945 normally, but I'll take a trade after that. 930 is market open. So like before 5, basically 10 minutes before market open, I'm not taking any setups. And then 15 minutes after market open, I don't take a setup. That's my window. But I don't know why Javier has specifically chosen 825. You can definitely trade after 825. It's just for him, maybe he's found that he's not profitable between those times. I don't know. Javier, you're welcome to let us know why that is. So again, guys, the only way I'm taking a short here, if we get a sweep of the buy side liquidity and we get an immediate rejection from the exact top of this hourly fair value gap, and we get an immediate down close below this fair value gap, there's 2 in this leg right here. Hopefully it'll be with 1 candle. That will be my signal to go short. And it will be with 1 NQ because, again, my bias is bullish here. There's no reason to be taking any shorts. So it would need to be an immediate rejection from where we are right now. So you won't trade NQ after 445, after 945. I only trade NQ after 945. So between market open at 930, right? The market opened today at 930 on this candle. So between 930 and 945, which is right here, this period of space I don't trade because normally this price action is baloney. So I probably would have taken this setup, the inverse at 9:45 or so, probably on this candle to go up to buy side and held up to the equal highs. So guys, I really need to see a rejection from here. Because basically, guys, my only setup today will come from these equal highs. If we don't get a setup to here, then I'm not going to be taking any trades, right? So if we unfortunately just push up here and take these equal highs out, I have no trade. It's sad, but that's just the reality today. I don't know, maybe something will show up later. Maybe we'll form another set of equal highs intraday that we can target. I don't know. But I'm really hoping that we don't hit these and we come back down and sweep them later. But remember what I told you guys, Friday is the most likely day to be a trend day. So if you're ever going to just take longs randomly, which I never suggest, obviously, but if you ever are going to, Friday is the best day to do it. Now, again, would I suggest you take longs at highs like this? No, I would suggest you wait for pullbacks and then take them on some red candles. But again, why would you do that? It's just dumb, right? You want to take an actual setup. Okay, I'm just going to take a look at some other buy days that we've had in the past. I just want to see something quick. See if there's anything I can note that's similar to what we're seeing today. Whoops. Interesting. Let me look at the 15-minute chart quick. No. Yeah, guys, I don't think I'm going to get a setup here, sadly. I think this is going to go all the way to buy side, but we'll see. Hourly candle closes in 20 minutes, give or take, so... Yeah, guys, again, what can I do here? There's nothing, right? There's no setups. There was this tiny 1 minute for value gap, and we ended up closing right below it here, and then we're closing back above, and we're pushing, so there's nothing I can do about this. Yo, what's up, BCTV? Good morning, bro. Good morning. So I was just telling everybody, DZTV, that I'm looking for a long setup up to these equal highs, but nothing is being presented to me, so I have to sit back. And again, guys, I told you before, this was we've had a great week. It's a Friday. Uh, I've had great profits this week, so why would I risk them on a low quality setup? It makes no sense. So I'm hoping to see this rebalance this 1 minute fair value gap here. But again, guys, there's no setup here. This 3 minute looks kind of good, though. I'm not going to lie. This looks really good. So what do I like about this, guys? We have a bullish 3 minute gap that everyone's trying to long. If we are bullish, we are going to use this to go higher. But if we close below it, I say this in all my shorts, where is the next likely target? Probably this low. And why is that? Because everybody has their stop loss underneath this low. So I need to see, first of all, the 1 minute is right here. So I want to see the 1 minute close below as well, because there's a chance we use this to go higher. So I need to see a 3 minute and a 1 minute close here below these two. So guys, I will be right back. Damn. Whoops. So I would pay attention to this, guys, while I'm not at the screen. What happens in this 3 minute fair value gap? If we close below it on the 3 minute chart and on the 1 minute, we close below this fair value gap. They both need to happen at the same time. This should be a nice sell model down to here. Okay, guys? So if those of you who are just in here, pay attention to the next 3 minute candle. It closes at 45. So we got 3 minutes left. I'll be right back. Okay. Nothing A plus. Oh yeah, you already said that. I heard that. So, wow, guys, look at this. So, look how he came down and wicked into the 1 minute. Oh, interesting. So we have a really small 1 minute fair value gap here. Definitely not A plus, guys. Definitely not A plus. But we are delivering from a 1 minute fair value gap. We never closed below the 3 minute either. See how we wicked perfectly out of it? You see why I labeled this 1 minute fair value gap? For those of you also, somebody asked me on my YouTube shorts, what is a fair value gap? Very quickly, guys. If you look at 3 candles and there's a space between the wick of the first and the wick of the third, you draw a box, that's a fair value gap. Robert, I think it's Robert actually that posted earlier today in one of my shorts. But guys, a fair value gap is 3 candles. If you draw a wick from the first one and a wick from the third one, the wick, draw a box out in time, that's a fair value gap. And you see how we reacted perfectly out of it? Here's another example. 1, 2, 3 candles. There's a wick from the first to the wick of the third. Draw the box out, that becomes a fair value gap. So if we close above a fair value gap, I like to go long. If we close below a fair value gap, I like to go short. So that's what that means. Order blocks are a little bit more complicated, but for example, these 2 down close candles is an order block because this candle closed above. So if you're really looking for a long and you're super bullish, you can use this as an entry for your trade, and your stop loss can be a close back below the order block. So like you'd put your stop below this order block's low. But like right now, guys, we did reject this hourly fair value gap, and we are potentially getting an inverse to the downside. So if we get a 3 minute close below this fair value gap right here that we're in right now, right? So here's what I'm saying. In theory, if you're bullish, this fair value gap should be used to go higher. But if we end up closing below it, that signals to me that the market structure is changing and that a lot of people are going to get stopped out of their longs. And I would target this low as my take profit center for the day. Okay, and Robert, I know it can be confusing, especially if you're new, but just stick with it, and eventually, I promise you, you'll end up being able to see these like it's nothing. Whoops. So I immediately see this fair value gap here as a bearish fair value gap. So I know if we close above it, we're very likely to at least target this high, and this high. So what I'm gonna do, guys, okay, this is not A plus, okay? I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna give this a 6.5 out of 10. I'm gonna do it with 1 NQ. My entry is gonna be here, if we close like right here, and then my take profit is going to be at equal highs. Now, why is this not A plus? First of all, we're in heavy premium. We have an hourly fair value gap that's holding us down here. So it's not A plus at all. No, I'm not even gonna take it, guys. Actually, it looks really good, so maybe I'll take it with 1, and just to show you guys, this is not A plus, but it will probably still work. Okay, so this candle closes in a few seconds, so we're going to try this with 1. 1 contract, guys, that's it. And I'm going to wait for a retracement. Guys, I don't like this, sorry. I can't take bad trades. I can't do it. This is an hourly fair value gap. We're trading right to the top of it and rejecting. I'd rather see us trade into discount first. But don't be surprised if this works. It's a 1-to-1 trade. 1.5 to 1. So it's actually an okay RR. But not for me, guys. I appreciate you, Robert. But in theory, guys, this should work to the upside. I just, for me personally, I have trained my brain not to take setups that aren't AAA+. This looks great. It looks great, but I know a lot of the times this can end up causing problems, so I'm not going to take it. And again, this is just a screen time thing. Can this work? Absolutely. But is it A+? No, and there's a variety of reasons I just explained to you guys. first of all, we're still in premium of the range, right? Premium is, so this range right here, this is the range from high to low of today's trading, right? By the way, we just closed below the 1 minute, so you would have gotten stopped out of that trade. We're in premium of the range. We're in an hourly fair value gap, and we're very likely to, it's not just going to cleanly deliver most of the time up to these equal highs. We're rejecting from the top of the hourly, and we haven't swept any major sell-side liquidity. So everybody who's long right now has their stops below this wicks low, this wicks low, and this wicks low. So I'd like to at least see some rebalancing and hopefully a trade into discount of the range before going higher. So I hope that makes sense, guys. So if you took this 1 minute long, you can see here that we rejected from the hourly and we closed below. So immediately this is a stop out. Do you guys see that? Do you see how I didn't take this trade because I just don't like where we are in the markets? Now we could be forming an order block here on the 1 minute. Wouldn't be surprised if this delivers us higher. So if you guys want to try it now, you could put your stop below this order block. Again, guys, it's not a plus to me, but I think it'll probably work. But you see how like there's not that much confidence in my voice? Like I know a lot of the times this will work, but why would I waste? I have 2 trades on the day maximum, guys. And if I lose, I'm often just done. So why would I waste my trade on something suboptimal when I could maybe get a trade down here and end up making a ton more money and the RR being a 5-to-1 instead of a basically 1-to-1 trade? It just makes no sense. So if you're in this, guys, again, your stop should be below the order block, in my opinion. Because if we are bullish here, we should not trade back below this order block right here. We should just push right now. So we just traded above this high. We swept this by a tick. So let's see if this ends up being a clean delivery to the upside or not. We are in a macro time, which I do like. This is something we have going in favor of this trade. And again, guys, if you don't know what macro times are, just put these on your screen. ICT macros by Cognito on TradingView under indicators. And take a screenshot of these macros. They're A+. These are the times in the market where the algorithms like to push price higher or lower. Basically, just they like to push price to deliver to where it needs to go. So we just swept this high by a tick. So let's see if we just cleanly deliver up here or not. I have a feeling we're not going to get a trade today, guys, but let's see. Let's see if I'm wrong. Hopefully this just dumps us and then we get a trade later on in the day. Never put it past the market to do something crazy manipulated and then get a better opportunity later. I'm telling you guys, no matter what you think is going to happen in the market, it always tends to surprise. So there is a little 1 minute fair value gap here that I think if this closes below, this will probably dump us down to this low. Again, is this A+? No, we have equal highs right above us, but I'm hoping that this ends up creating a 1 minute IFEG here because this would be a great RR. I'm not going to take this short, but I think if this closes below, we're likely to deliver to these 2 lows right here. And then hopefully into discount of the range. Yeah, hopefully not Jose, but Robert, I got in on demo at the top of the long green. Rick Candle. Which, Robert, what candle? Give me the time. Like this candle right here you got in? So far this is holding, guys. You really want to see this close right here. Yeah, also what I will say, guys, these equal highs that you're seeing here are from a super long time ago. I don't even know if it'll be on my charts. Oh, actually, no, they are. They are not from a super long time ago. They're from January 25th. Okay, so it's actually not been that long. I was going to say, when you see equal highs that form a super long time ago, a lot of the times they will just cleanly deliver because nobody has them on their charts. But these are only from like 6 days ago, give or take. So they might make this more difficult to deliver. Yeah, I know wick candle, Robert, but which wick? Are you talking, like, give me the time. You see how I can see the time down here on every single candle? Like, this wick candle came from 10:36. This wick candle came from 10:53. All right, there's the first equal highs, guys. So congrats if you took this woman at IFEG. It did work, but again, you closed below, so technically you would have gotten stopped out. There's the hourly fair value gap. 10:45 candle. Robert, yeah, so this is why already your language is a red flag. You said, I got in at the top of the wick candle. IDK, why I did though. Like, if you're clicking a button and you have no idea why, that is a huge red flag, and that to me guarantees you will not be profitable. Okay? Guarantees. I guarantee it. Guys, look how amazing this woman at fair value gap held, and we were able to push here. So guys, if I don't get a setup today, I don't get a setup. Like, I told you guys this would probably work. But again, I would have gotten stopped out on this trade. The RR is not great. I need to see more retracements if I'm going to take a long. Yeah, Jose, I would definitely do that. Because this should be a breakaway gap now. Right? We don't want to see this trade back into this candle. So I would definitely say, yeah, high of day would be a great place to put your stop. Maybe below this order block, if I were you. But potentially like closer to your entry. But you should reduce half your position in this hourly fair value gap and then move your stop to break even or below this order block. High of day body. Yeah, guys, I have a feeling this is probably just going to push all the way up to the equal highs, but I could be completely wrong. If it's going to reject, it's going to reject somewhere in this hourly, and then we'll get a retracement later. So now what I like to see is this fair value gap. If this ends up holding, guys, or it ends up being a breakaway gap, everything will be good. So we'll see what happens. If this ends up being a breakaway gap, obviously we're going to travel all the way up to the equal highs. If we close below this, I think this will be actually a pretty good retracement short down to this low. I took that because I learned that wicks are like liquidity grabs, and the bulls came in strong, so my thought process was due to the recent arranging and high liquidity grab and green candle close. Okay, but I get that, Robert, but what liquidity was being grabbed here? The liquidity is here below these wicks. This is liquidity. This is a fair value gap that we just went down to balance. And by the way, Robert, I know this is mind-blowing, but I don't believe there's such thing as bears and bulls. I think that the market runs on algorithms entirely. Okay, so we just closed below on the 1 minute, guys. I'm going to try this with... Wait, did we? Oh, no, not yet. Hold on. If we get a 1 minute candle close here to the downside, I'm going to try this with 1 NQ short, stop to break even at this low. Okay, I'm going to enter with 1, guys. Stop is going to be immediately. Why is my trading view not updating here? What the hell is this lag? So guys, I'm telling you this is super risky because we have equal highs above, but my stop is going to be a hard stop. I don't even care on this one. I'm not going to even wait for a 1 minute candle close because I know that if this is bearish, this should just completely dump us here. I'm super willing to let this trade fail, which I think it is. All right, so that's a fail immediately. So you see how I put my stop as a hard stop there? Because if we were bearish here, guys, this should have immediately delivered us to the downside. This was an A+ IFEG short, in my opinion. Why did I move my hard stop there? Because we have perfect equal highs above. So I know that if this is going to deliver, it's just going to completely blast through my stop loss. So that is one losing trade on the day. And it was a $230 loss, guys. My win on, was it Tuesday or Wednesday, was like 1,200 bucks or 1,700 bucks. So then I think I had a $400 win one day. So I'm keeping my losers small. That was, to me, A+. Okay, we delivered from an hourly fair value gap. We swept obvious buy side. We had a 1 minute inverse to the downside. But the fact that this closed above here signals the market is super strong here. And yeah, we're probably going to go to the equal highs. Yeah, I am very, very tight with stop losses, especially on a buy day like this. This is like a trend day, and it's unlikely that we're going to even go anywhere to the downside, in my opinion. But we'll see. In hindsight, guys, I should not even have taken this short, but it was too good for me to ignore. I love that setup. This is the setup I make tons of money on. This is like one of my best setups here. But again, on a trend day with equal highs, there's no stopping these. Sometimes these fail. Again, no model is perfect. You guys need to understand that. But if you can manage your risk, you will be profitable. Yeah, so congrats to Jose. He took this woman at IFEG long, and you can see it's delivering very cleanly here. The 3-minute candle at 10:18 left no bottom wicks. I tested candle range theory. Oh my god, CRT. Ugh. Appreciate you, Robert. Guys, I don't know what... maybe I don't like candle range theory because of this guy named Romeo. Oh my god. Dude is the biggest scam artist in the industry. Please, guys, if you watch him... Okay, I'm not going to tell you who to watch and not to watch, but I am telling you right now, he is the biggest scam artist in this industry. He is the worst. Like, I've never met anybody in this industry that's so scammy and like has a shitty personality like that. He's the worst. I know a few traders that have sent him direct messages and have told me personally how scammy he is. That basically his main objective is to just leech money off of people. Apparently he's not profitable. I don't know. That's a whole different theory. I'm not sure if he is or not. I doubt he is because he takes turtle soup entries and he uses his main model is CRT. But just like crazy the stuff that he says. Okay, so the only other way, guys, I'm going to take a setup. Again, I got a very small loss. It was like a $200 loss compared to, I mean, that's like probably 20% of what a full-size loss is for me. A full-size loss is about $1,000. So there's only two situations where I can take a secondary trade. Number one is if I get stopped at break even, and number two is if I lose only 20 to 30% of the size of a normal loss. So today is an opportunity to take a second trade. Will I take it? Only if something A+ presents itself. There was one A+ trade in my view. And was it really A+? Yes, but what honestly stopped this out was most likely because we have equal highs above. If this wasn't here, this would probably work all the way to the downside. And could it work again here? We have another short, yes, but the fact that this one didn't work immediately tells me I'm not taking the next one. Oh, Microsoft is pushing today. How's Tesla doing? 414. So you guys can see that we are in this hourly fair value gap. Will we get a rejection from it? Maybe. But this is super strong buying pressure, so I wouldn't be surprised if we end the day up at these. There's a, what is it, a 5-minute fair value gap here? Let me see. Yeah, there's a 5-minute unbalanced, fully unbalanced fair value gap Or is it a 1 minute? It's a 1 minute fair value gap. Oh, this is a 4 minute chart. Hold on, guys. Oh no, it is a 5 minute. So I'm gonna extend this out in time. So I would not be surprised if we end the day up here. Jose, I told you maybe end of the day 22050. Yeah, it's a big ask for sure, but it's possible. That is how many points from here? 100 points. So we've already pushed how many points today? From market open. Wow, we've already pushed almost 200 points, guys. I wouldn't put it past the market to do it, but who knows? Again, guys, the final draw for me is going to be these equal highs. Until then, who knows what's going to happen? But yeah, everything is being bought up. This to me looks like a buy day. I think that was the first loss of the week too. That remind me, guys, did I take another loss this week? I don't think I took a loss. I took a break-even trade, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I took a break-even trade for sure, but I think that was the first loss of the week. I'll have to look back at my my data, but I'm pretty sure. And do you guys see how when I take a loss, I am completely okay with it? It's not a big deal to me because I know that setups present themselves over and over again. And if something is A+, to me, it's worth it to take. Like, there's no reason not to take a setup if it's too good to ignore. And if it loses, you just know it's part of the numbers, right? You get wins and you get losses. Losses. Do I get super excited when I get a win? I mean, sometimes if it's a great win, it's exciting, but my emotional state doesn't get like too crazy whether it's a win or a loss. Jose, okay, I'm out. Oh, you got stopped out on the rest? That's fine, bro. Not a bad day at all. Guys, and learn to be content with that, right? Did you take a partial, Jose, or no? I forgot what you said. Good. So you took a partial and you got stopped at break even. Learn to be content, guys. There's a tiny 1 minute fair value gap here. Will this work? I mean, based on the day, it's possible. But again, guys, just because it's been working so far, am I just going to take something randomly? Absolutely not. But today seems like one of those days where every fair value gap to the upside will work. But again, we're in an hourly fair value gap. We just swept a set of equal highs. Is this A+? Hell no. Not even close. And sometimes, guys, you're going to have those days where there's going to be tons of non-A+ setups, and it's your job to be smart enough not to take them. Will they win some days? Yes, but most of the time they end up being losers. like this setup I just showed you guys right here. Okay, this is a A+ IFEG to the downside. How often does this work? Probably 80% of the time, if not more. Robert, it depends on what account you're trading. Are you trading a cash account? Are you trading a prop firm? If it's a prop firm, what size are you trading? It just really depends. But yes, if you're first starting and you want to trade with super small size, then yes, MNQ is the way to go for sure. And yeah, I would say take a partial at some point, and then leave the rest as a runner, exactly. And move your stop to break even, 100%. Okay, perfect, Robert, yeah. Apex 25 or 50K accounts. With a 50K, I would not risk more than $150 a day. So it's not really about how many NQ, because sometimes one MNQ will be a $150 risk depending on the size of the movements for the day. So completely up to you. But I think, yeah, trading with 2 MNQ is probably feasible. To risk like $100 to 150 a day to make 300 to 450. Robert, I feel guilty, like it's wrong. Like what's wrong? What do you feel guilty for? Jose, I had 2 MNQ, took a partial at the high, then put stop. 14 points for my break even. 14 points below your break even or 14 points above? No, Robert, it's okay, bro. Trust me. You're trading with micro contracts, not even minis, so it's fine. Trade with 2, and that way you at least have the ability to, yeah, above Jose for sure. Yeah, at least that way, Robert, you have the ability to take a partial. You're not just holding a position and letting it completely go against you for break even. Because also, guys, remember with prop firms, you have trailing drawdown. So you want to at least be able to take some money off the table. So you're not getting a full drawdown. Right? 100%, Robert. Also, guys, if you ever want to like ask me questions personally, I'm still small enough of a channel where I'm happy to help. So I posted my links above. You can follow me on X, or whatever, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Instagram. Just send me a DM on either. Or if you want to, if you have a Discord, you can add me as a friend on Discord. I don't know what my username is. Let me see if I can find it. This is my tag. Hold on, guys. I don't know if you'll be able, I think this is what you type in. But you can send me a DM here, and I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have. Because I know as a newer trader, it would have been such a blessing to have somebody that actually, in my opinion, I think I know how to trade, to actually give me advice. And maybe even like analyze setups and stuff. I still have enough time to do that. Maybe in the future I won't. This channel's been growing like crazy. I did not expect it. But for now, I'm definitely still open to helping people. And I remember, guys, I mean, I've been profitable for give or take 2.5, 3 years now. Maybe longer. I don't even know. But the first 2 years of trading, I remember on Fridays, let's say I was super disciplined and I had a great week, and then I took 1 loss. Okay? Like I didn't have the knowledge or the models that I trade with now back then. But you take 1 loss and you're like, "Oh my god." And then you take another loss, and then next thing you know, you have 2 losing trades in the day and you go into this full-blown emotional tilt. That was the misery. And then you were like depressed the whole weekend because you worked so hard this whole week, and then you blow all your profits in one day on a couple trades, and then you ask yourself, why did I do that? And then you look deep down inside and you're like, why am I trading this? Am I trading this for dopamine, or am I trading this for the model? Yeah, guys, I know it's you because it was me. Every trader ends up going through that. And if you can identify when you get those emotions, that is immediately when you can separate yourself. Yeah, exactly. I can guarantee you, of the 7, I think it's the 7 people that are in here, 6 of you trade for dopamine. Yeah, exactly, Jose. like anything that's worth it in this life, you have to have like a deep respect for like the consciousness of what you're thinking of in your mind. This is kind of getting philosophical, but until you have a super painful experience, for me, I lost like $3,000 or $4,000 in a day once off of day trading, which for $3,000 or $4,000 for a swing trade is not a big deal for me, and I'm also often following a model. But when I was newer and I didn't have that much money, $3,000 or $4,000 in one day was huge to me, and it was such a painful experience. It forced me to like really decide, is this something I want to pursue? And if it is, how can I be doing stuff like this? It's all fun and games, guys, until you lose a shit ton of money in a day and you're like, whoa. This either becomes serious or I have to go and get a job or something. Right? It's a very painful experience, and for a lot of people that's the only thing that's going to get you into the mindset and the zone to actually trade profitably. Took a lot of painful experiences for me to get to this point. And now there's no going back, but I'm grateful every day that I went through that because of what the outcome is that it led to. But at the end of the day, you're left with a choice of, am I going to keep trading for dopamine, for fun, or am I going to do this for real? And that's the conversation. And once you have that with yourself, you slowly become more disciplined and you eventually will become profitable. But you really have to actually take that seriously. And the only way you'll do that is if you experience something so painful that, at least this is my experience, you'll experience something so painful that you can't continue the way you were. All right, guys. So we're getting this. This is inversing again to the downside now. Again, am I taking this? No. Okay, it already failed once. We're super bullish on the day. Now all I can really hope for is to get a retracement into discount, which now we move it up. Discount is right here, and this is the low that I'm looking for. So if we can somehow get this to sweet, if this closes below, guys, I think this is going to come for this low. But again, I already took a losing trade in this leg of price. I'm not taking another trade. I never take more than one trade in the same leg. Unless I'm so confident on the bias, I may enter a second time, but again, the first loss has to be super small or a break even. So none of that is presenting itself here. And I also know, guys, when an A+ short fails, I know the market is just extremely bullish. So yeah, would not try and front run this train anymore. Not even close. Oh, one of my shorts is blowing up. Let's go. Guys, my last two YouTube shorts, for those of you who are in here, it would really help if you guys watch those and make sure you like them. Maybe comment if you're feeling frisky. If you watch it like 2 times over on repeat, it like crazy boosts the algorithm. So it'd be greatly appreciated if you guys could do that. And if you haven't liked this stream already, please do so. It really helps other people see the channel. So I really want to see this 1 minute fair value gap close below. And that will signify to me again that this is a bearish, it's a start of an intraday sell model to take liquidity. Because everybody that's long the market right now has their stop below this wick right here, right? So I think it's probably going to come down close to the wick. Again, I cannot enter on this leg. I already lost on this leg of price, right? I took this short and I lost. It's coming down a second time. Does this mean it's going to work this time? Probably. But I'm not trying to get in a second time. I only take one trade within the leg of price, and then I let the market deliver if it's going to. Especially because we have equal highs here, this will be my final target on the day. So hopefully we get some kind of a good setup to it. So what I'll be looking for is something like this. Where's the path tool? So hopefully we close below. Then we end up coming down, sweep this liquidity. Maybe we sweep this liquidity as well, and then we get an IFEG from here to deliver us up to the equal highs. That's what I'm really hoping for today. And do you see how, guys, I have enough experience in the market that I can see what kind of a path I'm looking for. Like, I know what the candles are supposed to look like to get to here, and I want to see an A+ inverse fair value gap somewhere in this section right here. So I want to see a big down close candle to take out both of these, or maybe this liquidity, and then an IFEG form, close above it. Your entry will be at the close, stop loss will be a close back below. So your entry is like, let's say here, for example, stop loss will be a close back below the fair value gap, and my take profit will be at the equal highs. Will I get that? Maybe. But so far, again, we just closed below this 1 minute fair value gap again. So maybe that is what ends up bringing us down. Who knows? But again, guys, I can't enter this short now because I've already lost once. But once we get that, I'll keep it on the chart so you guys can see it. But once we get this, that's when I will look for a long. Because, again, for those of you who are tuning in, all the liquidity to the long side is resting below this wick, and this wick. So until these get swept, there is a very low probability that we will continue higher with clean delivery. We want to see people get stopped out of the market. That's how the market moves higher, right? We stop out people that are long, we generate liquidity, and then we go higher most of the time. Are there days where we just trend higher? Of course. But your best setups, guys, are going to come after liquidity is swept. So wait for, when you see these obvious wicks, all the retail traders think to themselves, oh, this is a protected low, we're not going to hit this. But it ends up dropping below the low, and then the long setup normally happens afterwards. Again, guys, am I a market crystal ball fortune teller that knows this is going to hit? No. But if you're patient enough to just wait for them to hit, then you should get a good setup afterwards. I don't know how else to explain that to you guys, but nobody you follow knows exactly what path the market's going to take. But the traders that are making money are the ones that are patient and wait for the liquidity sweeps. And again, I will recognize today is a trend day. It's a trend Friday. So it's possible we could even come like super close to the wick and then not sweep it. But we shall see. We shall see. What time did this IFEG form? I'm going to write this in my notes. This was a failed IFEG. 10:59. And I'm going to take notes on it later. To see what I could improve on. Because I always take notes on a losing trade, guys. Always. But I'm also going to recognize that I behaved correctly. I did not go on tilt, right? I lost the trade, and that was the end of it. It was a tiny loss compared to what I normally lose, so that obviously helps when it's not a huge loss. But I also know when to size up, when to size down. I told you guys, I'm only trading this with one NQ contract. Why? Because we had perfect equal highs above. I rarely short with equal highs above. And if I do, it's with a third of the size I would normally trade with. Because the market uses these as a magnet. So this is very likely to hit today. Wow, Enphase is pushing hard. I like that. I like to see it. Okay. So now, guys, we pretty much wait. Patience. Everybody has an urge to click buttons. It's not the way. What made you start trading in a YouTube? That's a good question. Trading? Okay, so I'll tell you guys a little bit of my story real quick while we're waiting. But by the way, you saw, again, we closed below this a secondary time, and now we are dumping. Again, just because I thought this would happen, I'm not entering the trade. But I started out with real estate. I still do real estate, not as much as I used to, but I still do them occasionally. I actually had a meeting this morning, so that's why I wasn't streaming. But I started with real estate wholesaling. First, I started with flipping air conditioning units. I graduated college with an accounting degree. I hated it. And I decided when I moved home that I'm just going to start making money. I started with flipping air conditioning units. I bought them in wholesale from this Persian guy, like a bunch of them, and I would sell them. We had a heat wave one summer. That was when I was 21 or 22. Took that money. I started investing in, like myself, watching videos about real estate. Came across something called real estate wholesaling, where you find fixer-upper homes, and then you flip the contract, and you make money off the difference. Flash forward like 3 or 4 years. I didn't make any money the first year doing it, but I kept with it. I ended up finding a really good deal in Los Angeles, a fire damaged house. Made a really good amount of money with an investor on that. Yeah, the rest is history. I started investing in the stock market, and then I started realizing, like, I saw like little patterns in the market, give or take. I was still clueless. I ended up finding a guy named ICT, if you guys don't know, Inner Circle Trader, and it literally blew my mind. The dude was like pointing out parts of the market where he would say they would go to a tick and then it would reverse, and it like shook me that someone could predict where the market was going. And then I started learning that the markets are probably not as free as we think, like the bears and the bulls, buying and selling pressure, blah, 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 blah. So my love for investing in companies ended up being like an interest for day trading, and then boom, I started trading, went through a lot of pain, and then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna make a channel to help educate people, and also I'm an entrepreneur. I like to grow new businesses and see where they can take me, and that's when the YouTube started. And I love teaching. I love talking about this stuff, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. But yeah, ICT's crazy. He's kind of gone off the deep end with some of the stuff that he's been saying. Like, I lost a lot of respect for him after he made a bunch of claims, and then like he never followed through with them, and it's just like he likes to talk. But regardless, that'll never change the fact that he is the guy that taught me and inspired me to start trading, and like opened my eyes to a whole new world of things that I never would have seen if it wasn't for him. So I will forever be grateful that he did that. Then I learned about inverse fair value gaps, and liquidity became like my main model. And yeah, from there, the rest is history. Obviously pain throughout the whole experience, but glad to have gone out the other side and been able to help people out too. Yeah. Jose's waiting for liquidity. Smart man. So what I would suggest, guys, and if I wasn't streaming, I would do the same thing. I have stuff to do during the day. I'm not just going to sit and watch these charts. I'm with you guys trying to teach, and, you know, it's always, you guys keep good company. But I would just set an alert. Like, as soon as this liquidity gets swept, I would set an alert. I would go about my day doing whatever else I'm doing, whatever work I have on the computer. And yeah, I would just come back when I get the alert, and then I would look for a trade setup. So Jose is smart doing that. I think my cleaning lady's here, but I'll wait for a knock. I think she's here. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Alright, false alarm. She is not here. False alarm. So we do have a tiny... So one thing to note. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Always look for fair value gaps. We have a tiny 1 minute here. We are closing below it. I think this is going to be what delivers us down here. Ramir, Jose, that's exactly what I did. Yeah, Jose left an alert when this liquidity gets swept. So you guys see, this is the last bullish PD array that's holding up price, right? We bounced out of it once. Now I think this is going to deliver us down. But again, we're super bullish on the day. I am very cautious about where I look for shorts. I'm not going to short on a down leg of price here. I'm going to look for an upside move. Excuse me. But so do you guys understand this? For those of you who are maybe new to ICT or new to trading, do you understand why I'm looking for this wick to get swept? Do you guys understand the reasoning? And if you don't, please don't be shy. I will explain it to you. I know, like, for me, I've been looking at these screens, these charts for a long time, and to me, it's like second nature at this point. But I know that for a lot of people, it's not. So if you don't get it, please ask, and I will explain it to you. Or if there's anything else you don't understand, fair value gaps, liquidity, whatever, order blocks, just let me know. And I am working on a course, guys, by the way, a free course for YouTube. I'm not going to charge for that, on just ICT basics. So for those of you guys who don't want to watch his 48 hours worth of content or whatever he released, it's hundreds of hours. I'll tell you in a second, Evan. I'll release just a very simple basics on all this stuff. But liquidity, guys, is basically where lots of orders in the market are resting, okay? You have to think to yourself, if you're long in the market, okay, where is your stop loss going to be here? The books teach you that your stop should be below a low, like a sweep of a low. So this low right here, this wick, all the stop losses are below these lows. If we're bullish, right, we should keep making higher highs, the retail books tell you. Higher highs will make the market go up. And if we break a higher high, then they say to get out of the market. So a lot of sell orders, anyone that's long here, has their stop loss below this low and this low. And this low right here, if we end up ever getting there. But I don't think we will today, who knows. So basically, what actually happens, the retail books teach you that you're just going to make higher highs and you're never going to hit these lows and you're just going to have a happy la la land fantasy move to the upside. But what really happens in reality is the market makers code the algorithms and they're designed to stop out traders. So what will most likely happen here, again, if it's a trend day, sometimes in the rare situation they don't take these lows, but most of the time they will sweep liquidity, which means they're going to bring the candles down below this wick's low, and then they're going to deliver the market higher. That's what liquidity sweep means. You're sweeping the market, like sweeping with a brush, with a broom, boom, taking out that liquidity to the downside, and then you're going up. Does that make sense, Evan? So I'm always looking for these lows to get hit before getting a entry for my long setups, because I know that the best setups come after people get stopped out. They're forced to sell their positions, and when they sell them, right, the market in theory is a zero-sum game, right? So whenever someone's selling a share or a contract, there has to be a buyer, right? So when your stop loss hits, you're selling out of your position and someone's buying the position from you. And in turn, they now use that position to go higher. Yeah. And very quick, guys, I will explain fair value gaps again, but it's pretty simple. It's basically just 3 candles. Okay, that's all you need. Let me see if I can find you a super clean example really quick before we continue. All right, this is a super clean example right here, okay? You take 3 candles, and this is the first, second, third. There's 3 candles. This is a big candle right here. You take the wick or whatever the body is, whatever's the highest point of the first candle and the lowest point of the third, draw it out in time. That is a fair value gap. So in theory, the market should use a bullish fair value gap, right? It's a green candle, so it should be a bullish gap to go higher. But if we end up closing below it, oftentimes it'll deliver us lower. So like here, we close below it. I mean, this was not the best example, and this is also in the Asia session, and it just depends on a lot of things where liquidity is, but in theory, it should be used to go higher. So the fact that we close below it here is a signal that we're probably going to the next low. In this case, it did not work because of a lot of different factors. The bias was bullish, but there's a lot of examples where this will work. But like here, for example, whoops, this was another fair value gap right here. I told you guys to pay attention to it. 1, 2, 3 candles, draw a box out in time. If we close below it, it's very likely that we're going to go to the next low. So I would not be surprised, guys, if we end up closing below this, that this low is coming. Now, it is a trend day, so it's possible that we don't. But, yeah, A fair value gap is the same thing as an inverse fair value gap, but basically a fair value gap becomes an inverse if we close below it. So like, for example, earlier today, right, we had this fair value gap right here. 1, 2, 3 candles, right? 1, 2, 3. We closed above the fair value gap. So this was supposed to be a bearish gap, right? In theory, if it was a bearish fair value gap, it's a red candle in the middle. We should use it to go lower. But if we close above it right here, then it becomes an inverse fair value gap and you're targeting the next high. So, yeah. So I hope that makes sense, guys. That's all that I trade with. Liquidity sweeps and inverse fair value gaps. That's all you need. You don't need any indicators. You don't need any cumulative delta, schmelta, belta, whatever the hell they use. I don't even know. But so far, guys, you can see we are holding this 1 minute fair value gap as a bullish gap. But I would love to see it come down and sweep this liquidity or come close. That's where I think a long setup will form for probably the afternoon session to go up to these equal highs. Evan, so the box you draw will use the top of the first candle's wick and the bottom wick of the third candle. Correct. So again, of the 3 candles, the top of the first and the bottom of the third, draw it out in time. That is your fair value gap. And you can see here, we're using this as a bullish gap. You see how the bodies are holding the fair value gap? So it's actually possible, guys, that this ends up being the delivery higher, but it's not a plus. I want to see this liquidity get swept first. Yeah, if it's a bullish fair value gap, it should be used to go higher, okay? But if we close below it, like we're probably about to do, we have a while till the candle closes. But if we close below it, it becomes an inverse gap, and it should be used as resistance to take us down to the next low where everyone's stop losses. So you guys see how as soon as this happened, I called that we're going to go down? Again, it failed once. I can't enter 2 times, but in this case, it did work. And yeah, your take profit on this should be at this low or close to it. Maybe like the mean threshold of the wick. So this is another concept, guys, but 50% of the candle's wick is often likely to hit. So I would take your profit at this or right above the 50%. Hold on 1 second, guys. Give me 1 sec, I heard something weird. All right, there's the mean threshold of the gap. So only if the body, correct, only if the body closes below, like right here, you see the body closed, and that should deliver us to this low. I don't get none of it. Don't worry, Robert, you'll get it over time, bro. I used to look at this stuff like, what the hell is going on? But I'm telling you, eventually you learn it. Eventually it becomes second nature. I look at the charts, bro, like I can be half asleep, and now I look at the charts and I see a fair value gap, and I know when it's good. So, for example, guys, this right now. So if we get a liquidity sweep here and we get an inverse above this, I think this is a pretty decent long setup. Okay, because if we're bearish, right, this is a bearish fair value gap that formed. We should use this, we should reject it to go lower. But if we end up closing above it after sweeping the liquidity, so I want it to look like this, okay? If we use it as a rejection, right, and we sweep liquidity, and then we come up and close above it, this is your signal to go long. Your stop loss will be a 1 minute close back below the fair value gap, and your take profit will be at high of day, can be at this high, wherever you prefer. I would leave it to the equal highs because I think it would deliver to them. So you see how it's now a 5-to-1 RR trade. So if you know what you're doing and you take A+ setups, then a lot of the times these will work and deliver you all the way up to where you need to go. But I will only take this if we get a liquidity sweep. If we don't sweep this red line and take out longs in the market, then it's not worth it. Evan, you can if you'd like to, but sometimes what will happen is we'll close above and the next candle will be huge. So oftentimes the RR, the risk reward, becomes way worse because instead of entering here, right, you might have to enter all the way up here. So it's better just to take it on the first candle and take it on the first candle, but wait for the A+ setup. And then you take it once or twice a day. Sometimes not even. Sometimes you take it less than once or twice a day. Maybe once a day, maybe twice a week. But over time, if you take the A+ ones, it'll definitely be a profitable model. But you need to learn which ones are good and which ones are bad. You can't just take every single one. Okay, so there's the liquidity sweep. Would love, guys, again, I would love to see us touch 50%. So down here in this 1 minute fair value gap, this will be the best place to look for longs. Right in here. So if we can touch into the 50%, into this fair value gap, and then get a long setup, I think that'll be fantastic. So let's see what we get. Yeah, for sure, Robert. Guys, 95% of traders lose because they can't handle sitting and waiting for the A+ setups. But you need to know what they are first. Hold on. Guys, say hi to the puppy. Say hi, Lulu. Say hi. Come on. Oh, yes. This is my little mini schnauzer. Her name's Lila. We call her Lulu. Putting it in here while the cleaning lady's here because she barks. Okay, so we just swept liquidity, guys. This fair value gap looks decent to me. I don't think it's 100% A+. I would prefer to see one come down here. Because I want to see this liquidity get swept. I want to see 50% get touched. Yeah, she's like a mini schnauzer poodle mix. Hey. She's very cheeky. She's the sweetest dog, but she loves to bark. She's scared of flowers. Like one time I picked a flower petal from the garden and I put it on her head, like next to her ear, and she ran away. Literally, if that dog went into the forest, it would die like the first day, first hour. It's not designed. It's in natural selection. That's the first breed to get extinct. Has zero instinct for for hunting or doing anything. It literally, it couldn't even hurt a fly, and it's scared of everything. Alright guys, let's see if we get a setup. We've been waiting patiently. You guys know the common theme. I wait patiently all day, and finally, after a long time, we end up getting an A+ setup. So we'll see if we get it. And this is, by the way, guys, if I take another trade, this is my final trade of the day. right? I never take more than 2 trades, and I only can take a second trade if my first trade is a 20 to 30% loss compared to full size, or if it's a break-even trade. So, thanks, Robert. Yeah, she's really sweet. The most loving little dog, but not meant to survive in the wild. Alright, guys. Hopefully we get a setup. Hoping that we get a setup. Let me look at the higher time frame charts quick and see if there's anything else I see. Yeah, nothing really good here. There is a 3-minute fair value gap that we can try, but I would prefer to see the 1-minute close above as well. Now, I've told you guys before, if you're looking for somebody to entertain you and you want dopamine, this is not your channel. Evan, I normally trade... I trade up to the 5-minute, so 1, 2, 3, and 5-minute charts. Anything above that is I use it for bias, and then I'll zoom into the higher time frames to get a better entry. Into the lower time frames. So I only use the 1, 2, 3, and 5-minute charts for entries on trades. Yeah, Jose, it's possible that this ends up being the low, but I'm telling you guys right now, like, I've seen this happen so many times. When I see this, like, we just keep making all these little lower lows and we consolidate. It's oftentimes to deliver lower. Now, we do have this 3-minute gap. You guys can try this. Is it A+? Nah, not really. I know what looks great and what doesn't, and this doesn't look A+ to me. I want to see this, what I'm showing you guys on the screen. Once this happens, we should get a great setup. This candle closes at 51. So we got 2 minutes till the candle close. Those time frames only after convolutions of high time frames? What do you mean? I use the high time frames like the hourly. So like, for example, guys, right now, we closed above this hourly fair value gap. To me, this signifies that we're bullish for the rest of the day. I think we're going to be using this hourly as support to go higher. So I use the high time frame as my bias for the day. And then I'll zoom into the lower time frames to take an entry. Now, to be fair, we also did balance this hourly, but we haven't touched the top of it. We still have the high to be swept. We still need to fill it fully. So I would expect to see a setup from somewhere within here. But right now we're trading into this 1-minute gap, and I think this is going to dump us, but we'll see if I'm right or wrong. So I'd love to see this low get swept, guys. A lot of people are like, oh, this is the move that's going to take us higher. What they don't realize is we're just coming up to balance this 1-minute bearish fair value gap. We're going to use it to reject and go lower. But yeah. How's Nvidia doing today? Back up to 125. Ooh. Okay. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Let me look at the new week opening gap again here. So we're at the top of the new week opening gap. Interesting. This is another concept, guys. I don't want to confuse you who are new, but new week opening gaps are also great. So don't be surprised, guys. This red candle should deliver us down to this low. I didn't know Chipotle split. Chipotle split a while ago, but yeah, they were super expensive. How is Chipotle stock doing? Let's go and quickly look at it while we are here. I don't know what's going to happen with Chipotle here, but I would love to see it sweep this low right here and this low. And then maybe we'll look for some ads afterwards. I will, of course, alert this in the Discord, but I do want to own some Chipotle. This chart is futures. You can color your charts however you want. For me, my futures charts, ES and NQ. ES and NQ I keep white, and then like regular stocks I have in gray. So Tesla, Chipotle, Nvidia, Microsoft, I keep them in gray, and then I keep my futures charts in white. It's just like a way I distinguish. And I just think it's cleaner, like as far as day trading is concerned, it's cleaner to have it on the chart like this in white. Oh my goodness. So next 3-minute candle closes at 55, right? 54. So guys, if you want to take this, I do not think it's a plus, but I still think it's possible that it works. It's a 4.3 to 1 RR trade. Yeah, exactly, Robert. Like, for somebody new looking at what I'm seeing on this chart, you're like looking at this like, what the hell is this? This is gibberish. For me, I can look at this and in 2 seconds my brain knows exactly what I'm looking at because this is my own personal model and my own personal like drawing board, I guess you can call it, and I just know immediately what it is. It's confusing to a lot of people that are new, but for me it's not at all. But it's pretty simple. Like, this is the hourly fair value gap I showed you on the higher time frames, right? The hourly gap. There's another gray one up here. The green lines are equal highs. And that's pretty much it. The purple ones are fair value gaps. That's all. And then red lines are sell side liquidity. Black lines and green lines are buy side liquidity. Okay, so the 3-minute is about to close. Did it close above? It did. So now, guys, I'm waiting for the 1-minute. I think this will probably be a good long setup. If this 1-minute is able to close back above. So we'll see. But what I'd really love to see, guys, again, I'm not here to entertain, right? I'm here to educate. This 1-minute fair value gap, it looks good, but I would give this a 6.7 out of 10. The best setup, guys, would be... Where did my drawing go? It disappeared. Is it on the higher time frames? Here it is. Whoa, it completely got messed up. But the best setup would be something like this. I would like to see another sweep of liquidity. Like this. I'd love to see this reject and then come down, sweep this low, and this low. Come down, get something like this, and then go higher. That will be what will probably deliver us cleanly. If this closes above, we'll probably come up to this high, then maybe reject, and then it's just not going to be as good. The cleanest delivery price action will come after this liquidity is swept and 50% is touched. But yeah. So I like that we're rejecting from here. It's a good sign to me that price action will continue down, and then we'll get along later. Jose, but if we break 21,920, Yes. It should be a good long, of course, but we want to see a body close above this 1 minute gap. But what might happen is we come up to this high and then we reject again. What I'd rather see, guys, is a complete sweep of all this liquidity, because the cleanest delivery of price will come if all the liquidity is swept. Sometimes this will be a fake 1 minute inverse just to sweep this high and maybe this one, stop out some shorts, and then continue lower. It's much better just to see clean delivery to the downside and then an up move after. Hope that makes sense. And you guys can see this kind of like trend line that's forming here. Put it in black so you can see it. See this kind of like trend line that's forming. Eventually this is going to break out to the upside and then we'll get along from there. So that if you're looking at it from like a retail perspective, this is the trend line. But the reason I love ICT is because it's not just a trend line, okay? There's these fair value gaps in here that people don't know to look for. And you can see here, this looked like a breakout. People were like, oh, let me quickly long this. But what they don't realize is we have a bearish fair value gap here that price is rejecting from. Like, this is the basics of the market, and the fair value gaps are the complexities. So if you spend the time to study and learn these fair value gaps, you will see that these are actually what are behind market movements. The market uses these for resistance and support. Robert, my brain sees it differently. I see all that green from earlier in the day. Now price is retracing and recovering until it decides on direction, which my bias would say bullish. So I'd then go long. Is that bad? There's no bad or good way to look at things, Robert. But there are ways that are more accurate than others. So like in your case, right? Yours is more of kind of like I wouldn't say an emotional analysis. It's more of just like it's like a feeling. Right? I see the market has been green, so it's likely to retrace. Yes, you're right. But if you want to have a super accurate model, you need to have something more specific. So the reason I love fair value gaps is because I know, like, it's kind of like a scientific approach to the market. It's not just trend line or the market's going up and it's retracing. But yes, in a basic sense, if the market goes higher, we should retrace to fill more orders to the downside. But then you need to advance your model by saying, okay, well, what is my model? My model, personally, I'm looking for a liquidity sweep, a retracement of the 50% leg, and then maybe an IFEG to the upside. So I know exactly what I'm looking for, and if the model doesn't present itself perfectly, then I don't take an entry. And I know, guys, that what I just said, if you don't understand ICT, it sounds like gibberish, but trust me, over time you will get it. What did I just say? I said I'm looking for a trade into a bullish fair value gap. So you can see the bullish fair value gap in purple right here. Love to see that. At the same time, we're sweeping liquidity and we're trading into 50% of the leg, which is from high to low of this leg. This is the range on the day. Once we trade into the 50%, we're likely to go higher. So a liquidity sweep, a fair value gap, and 50% all at the same time. These are all confluences I use to potentially see an IFEG, but this is not enough. I'm not just going to buy if we touch this 50%, right? I want to see a bullish reaction from it and an inverse fair value gap to go higher. So hope that makes sense, guys. But yeah, there's no bad way to look at the market, but you need to add detail on it. You need to add more detail or a little bit more complexity to your. Okay, you don't need to make your trading more complex, but you need to have something that is repeatable that you can see happen all the time. If it's a trend line breakout, fine, but like you have to realize that this fair value gap's holding down price. So like you can't just take this. When this breaks out right here, you can't take this. I want to see a body close above the fair value gap. That signifies to me that market structure is potentially changing. Exactly. Make it your own. Find a model that you can repeat. Like, guys, I can already see in my mind what is likely to happen here. And if it happens the way that I expect, it gives me way more confidence to enter a trade, right? But if things start happening that I don't really like or that I'm not expecting, Why would I risk my hard-earned money on something that I'm unsure about? Instead, I know that my setup happens almost every single day, and I know what to expect based on looking at charts for years and years and years. I know what the best price action will look like. It doesn't always do the same structures, but I know based on this specific setup that what is likely to happen is a trade into this 1 minute gap, because I've seen this happen over and over and over again. Now, does that mean that I'm going to try and be a market furu and try and short to this and then take a long all the way up and make profits both ways? No. I'm just going to wait and see if the setup happens. So what I've decided, guys, already, if we end up closing above this 1 minute, I will take this with 1 NQ contract. This will be my final trade on the day. If it ends up trading down into here, I'll take it with 3 if we get the IFEG. So we will see what happens. I really, really would prefer not to take this one. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope that we just collapse here and trade into this sell side and then get a long later. That's what I really pray for here. So let's hope to see some big down close candles. Again, we did get the 3 minute to close above here. It looks like we closed back below it immediately. So again, this is not good price action right now. I can already see it. You guys see how I'm looking at inverse fair value gaps? We closed above this. In theory, we should have delivered higher here, but the fact that we closed immediately back below it, not a good sign to me. Like, this already makes me iffy about taking this 1 minute fair value gap. I'd want to see a new leg of price. Yeah, guys, I'm not taking this. If we get this 1 minute, I'm not taking this. It's not good enough to me. Even with 1 NQ, it's just not worth it. I have a loss on the day. I'm not going to take anything unless I'm super, super confident on it. And that, to me, is this model, trading down into this fair value gap and sweeping this liquidity. If you guys haven't taken a trade today, and you want to take this 1 minute inverse, I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's A+. But, you know, you might be in a different situation to me, right? I already took a loss on the day. It was a small loss, but it's still a loss nonetheless. So instead of just trying to force a trade, I'd rather wait for this thing that's so good and undeniable that I can take it with decent size and I can win back everything I lost and some. If it comes to your first idea, would you go 1? And if it came to your second area, it would scale in with... So I would probably go with 3 NQs if my trade comes to fruition. But no, I would stay... I mean, I trade NQ. But like with a fun... Like, I have an eval account right here on my screen that I'll probably take this on as well. So if I get it on eval, I'm gonna take this is a 50K account, so I'm only gonna take this with 3 MNQ. Personally, that's just my risk parameters. But for a new trader, I would say 2 MNQ, yeah. But yes, if it enters the spot that I want it to, I am much more inclined to size up on the position. So I love to see this. I want to see this low get swept, this low get swept, this low get swept, a trade into the 1 minute fair value gap, a trade into the mean threshold of the 50% is the other term for mean threshold. It means the same thing, guys. 50% of the range and then a long setup. That would be really nice. So I love to see what I'm seeing here. I hope this doesn't just... I hope it doesn't stop before sweeping this liquidity. Wow, I need to get a haircut. Let me look at the 5 minute again. Yeah, and this is also a 15-minute fair value gap, guys. So I love this for bullishness. This is a bullish 15-minute gap. I know I have a 5-minute draw on here or whatever this is. Or is it a 1 minute? It's a 1 minute. But the 15-minute is even bigger, right? It's from this candle's wick high to this candle's wick low. Draw it out in time. That box is the 15-minute gap. No, I do not want to see this. I need to see these two be a rejection to go lower. I'd really prefer this not go up here. God damn it. So, oh, did this just leave equal lows? Wow, it just missed this low by a tick. That's annoying. Man. So we did just sweep this low by a few ticks, and now we are trading back above this. This does not look terrible to me. But, like, it just sucks, guys. I'm telling you, you have to be patient. Like, yes, this looks pretty good. But I just would much rather see this liquidity get swept. I took a loss on the day. Ooh, let's go. Okay. Okay, so we got one liquidity sweep here and a trade into the 15 and the 5 and a 1. Okay, this looks a lot better for longs now. But I don't know what that wick was. Was there news, guys? Does anybody know? That was super interesting. Why is the market moving so fast all of a sudden? It's 12 o'clock. So if this 1 minute closes above, this is a good long in my opinion. If you want to be risk averse, you can wait for this one to close above. But basically what you would do is enter long on this 1 minute candle. And then basically as soon as this high hits, you move your stop to break even. Yeah, a body close above 21,901 is the top of this box, right? 21,900.75. I'd love to see this trade to the 50% though. Like one more sweep at this low. That would be excellent. But this is good enough for me. I'm going to take this with 2, guys. Because I'd rather see the 50% get swept. Okay, so no close above so far. Look at the body of this candle. No close above. The 2 minute did just close above, but I want to see the 1 minute close above as well. And the 3 minute. This closes at 9:12, so I have 2 more minutes. So guys, because the 50% did not get hit, I'm being super selective with entering this trade. I don't want to see this, even if the 1 minute closes above, okay, I'm not taking this until the 3 minute closes above, because it is another PD array that could make price reject. So I need to wait another 2 minutes. If you want to enter on the 1, be my guest. I'm not going to. Even though it does look good, I'm going to be super patient here. Okay, so you guys see how this trading model saves you, right? Anybody who tried to enter this before the body close got destroyed. Yeah, this is weird. I don't like how these candles are behaving right now. This huge wick randomly, then the market started moving. Maybe Trump said something? I don't know. Okay, so it still will be an entry if we get it, but need to see the 3-minute close above as well, and that candle happens in less than 30 seconds. 5 seconds. Okay, guys, so I would need to wait for the next 3-minute candle here if I'm going to take this trade, because we did not close above. We closed inside of it. If you guys want to take this 1-minute entry, if it closes above, be my guest. It's not for me, though. If the 50% touched, I would be a lot more inclined to do that. But it did not, so. Again, guys, there are a lot of specifics to my trading. I know it seems complex right now, but if you trade this for long enough, you will realize what I'm talking about. Especially because we're at the start of a potential sell model here. Yes, we have equal highs above, and I want these, but I'm not going to take anything until it's too good to ignore. Again, I will sound like a broken record if you guys watch this stream. Did anyone see any news on Trump or anything? Just out of curiosity. It doesn't really matter, but... Okay, that's the entry if you guys want the 1-minute long. Stop loss will be a close back below. And I would move my stop to break even right now. Because if we're bullish, we should just keep going higher here. Exactly, Robert. Yeah, pretty much. So the 3-minute is not... The candle closes at 15. So I got 2 minutes left on this candle. And I'm being super cautious, guys, because to me this looks like an intraday sell model. We're making a bunch of lower highs. Did we just create equal highs here? No, we missed these highs by a tick. Interesting. We're also entering lunchtime. It's not a macro anymore. Telling you. I think we're probably going to get an afternoon long, but we'll have to see. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry, like, I don't like this. This is such bad PA here. Yes, this 1-minute inverse to the upside. Yes, your stop should be at break even. You would have gotten stopped out on this candle, by the way. That's just not good PA. I wish I could tell you guys this is good, but it's not. You guys have seen good price action. You saw me make like 1,800 bucks on whatever, Tuesday or Wednesday, when there was good PA. This is not it. So now that we've traded into, and again, guys, this is where the intricacies come in. If we close above on the 3-minute right now, okay? Am I going to enter? No. Why? Because we now have a 1-minute fair value gap that needs to close above. So now that the 3 is closed above, that's great. Now, if we get a 1-minute long, I will take this. But what I'd really prefer to see, guys, is a complete collapse here. Sweep this 50% and then get the long. Do-do-do-do-do-do. The 15, yeah, we got a 1-tick trade into the 15-minute gap. That's pretty bullish. Look at the wick that we're forming here. We're also holding the hourly, so hopefully this forms like an hourly OB to bring us higher. Guys, this is going to be my last trade of the day. Again, only if the 1 minute closes above. And I'm only going to take this with one NQ, guys. I'm telling you right now, I'm just being real here, okay? I've been waiting patiently, but what I'm seeing here on the charts, this price action here does not look good to me. It's not, this is not what clean price delivery looks like, okay? I wish I could be like, I wish I could tell you, yeah, we're going to have a huge move up now, but I just don't sense it. Like, over time, guys, when you look at price action and candlesticks, you will see what's good and what's bad. This is not good price action. Telling you right now. Okay, there was news. Trump's tariffs on Canada and Mexico will begin on March 1st instead of tomorrow. Okay, that was what's moving the market here. Yeah, but did you guys see how immediately... So I was looking at the charts, right? And I recognized when all of a sudden we got this massive wick. Okay, like out of nowhere. There was no reasoning for me to expect this wick, and it just happened. And then we got this. Now we're getting this. This is weird price action. Very weird. Like, if it was me and I wasn't live streaming right now, I would leave the charts. No, Robert, I would not. If you're a new trader, I would not trade Asia. Asia for sure, do not touch. London, yes. I think London could be good. Depending on, depending on where we are in the charts, I think London can behave pretty nicely. But I would avoid Asia if I were you. It's normally low volume, normally heavily manipulated. Only in rare situations do I take Asia trades. I actually took one 2 days ago, I think. I'll show you guys that one. I showed it on stream, I think yesterday, but I'll show you again. But yeah, guys, I'm already telling you right now, I'm not taking this anymore. This is BS. This should not be happening. So actually what I'm going to do, guys, is go over the Asia trade. Even if this closes above, guys, I do not like this. I'm telling you right now, look at this price action. It's like barcoding, okay? This is where people lose their asses in trading, okay? If you can learn to recognize this stuff, I know it's like not easy right now, but if you can recognize barcode price action when things are not behaving, look at this, okay? This 1 minute fair value gap. We closed above it on this candle, okay? This should have delivered us all the way up to this high with no issues. But what happened is we came up just and missed it by a tick, and then we dumped. Oh, did this form equal highs? Ooh, guys. This just formed perfect equal highs. So these will be used as a target for later. So if, okay, here we go. So if we end up dumping here, okay, and we hold these equal highs, there's triple equal highs here. If we sweep the 50% and then get an IFEG, I will take this long. But I want to get out of this BS range of candlesticks here, stop out everyone who's long the market, and then get the long, okay? That's my plan. Yeah, so I want to show you guys the Asia session trade that I took here, okay? I did not call this in the Discord, but I showed you guys later on. What did we do here? So we swept this low that formed in the New York session in the afternoon. We swept this low by one tick. Look how the candle swept the low by one tick. And immediately we got a bullish reaction and closed above a 5-minute fair value gap. That was my entry for the trade. Stop loss is a 5-minute close back below the fair value gap. with a body. You see how we wicked? That doesn't count. Then my first TP in this case was this high, and then to this high, and then the equal highs that I was calling that perfectly engineered equal highs right here that ended up hitting perfectly in the Asia session. So this is an example of clean Asia delivery. Doesn't always happen like this, but this was a very specific scenario, and there was only very few instances where I will take that. How did you see it with it moving so slow? What do you mean, how did I see it? It's just there. This was earnings day, so Tesla and Microsoft had earnings, and I know that they leave engineered highs for these earnings, sometimes for the earnings call. So when I saw this happen, I took this. This is A+ to me. Liquidity sweep. We traded into a bullish hourly fair value gap, and clean delivery, as you can see. You see how I know I can recognize when price action is good, and this was a good setup. And you can see that when a good setup forms, it cleanly delivers. But when we're in this kind of nonsense, oh my god. And it hit the equal highs. Oh, this is the worst price action ever. Yeah, guys, I have half a mind to get off the charts right now. This is garbage. Yeah, guys, I can't take this. I'm sorry. This is garbage PA. If you want to try this 1 minute fair value gap, by all means, you can. I'm telling you right now, this is not the price action you want to trade. So what I'm going to do, it's Friday. We've had a great week. What I will do, guys, in the Discord, if you guys are in it, again, I'm running a free 3-day trial. There's a link in the description, whatever. You guys can join it if you want. It's not important. You don't need it. But if you're in it, I will call in the live alert section if there is an A+ setup. And I'll tell you guys right now, we're looking for a trade into this 1 minute fair value gap to get along. If I don't see that, I'm not taking a trade today. But yeah, today is a good day to cut it off, I think. If we somehow miraculously don't hit these highs today, we'll target these for next week, maybe on Monday. But I will, again, if anything A+ forms, I will call it in the live alert section. But I wish you guys the best. I hope you have a great weekend. And yeah, let's learn to be content with our trading for the week. Don't just click buttons for the sake of clicking buttons. Could I click this button to entertain you guys if this 1 minute inverses? Yes. Is it A+? No. Because of this nasty price action. So with that being said, guys, I wish you the best, and I will see you in the Discord, or I will see you guys on Monday.